influencing pop culture, politics, and everything in between, taking you ringside as we discuss the crazy world that is professional wrestling. This is Going Ringside.
Good day and welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad you could be with us. I'm Scott Johnson. This is another episode of Going Ringside, and we're going back to the Attitude Era this week because we got a great guest, a woman I've wanted to bring on the show for a while now because she's such an interesting figure in pro wrestling, particularly women's wrestling history. We're talking about Jaqueline. So if you remember the Attitude Era, you had Sunny, you had Sable, you had Marlena, Terry Reynolds. None of them were necessarily serious wrestlers at the time, but then they brought in Jaqueline, and she most certainly was. She had an interesting time to go in and bring legitimacy to the early years of the women's division, which didn't really exist prior to her and Sable and eventually Trish and Lita come in. Jackie was there right in the middle of it all. I met up with her at River City Wrestling Con, and right after that, we're going to sit down with friend of the show, Desiree Josen with the Chutes and Ladders podcast to discuss Jaqueline's great career and what she meant to women's wrestling. So let's get to it. Here's Miss Jaqueline, made famous in the Attitude Era. Well, we're excited to be joined today by the show by Jaqueline. Jaqueline, nice to see you here today.
Nice to see you. Thank you very much.
So when I've interviewed a lot of female wrestlers, and I say, who's one of the best ever, your name comes up quite a lot.
Oh, really?
It does come quite a lot.
Wow.
So
awesome.
Talk to me about, you were there when WWF went to the next level. What was that like to be one of the few women at that time? There weren't a lot back then.
There wasn't a lot of women back then. Wrestling back then, but you know, we were out there for the fans, putting on good shows, and we worked really hard to put on good shows. You know, it was very special back then, and a lot of people said they enjoyed the Attitude Era. That's where I was in. I was in the Attitude Era, and it was just a lot of fun back then. You know, everybody enjoyed one another. The fans were loving it, and a lot of fans said that was really special back then.
So when you were in the Attitude Era, what were some things that you remember, specific moments on camera that you remember?
The moment, lots of moments back then was like the storylines. It was so great back then. The wrestling was great.
Who were you affiliated with a lot back then? Which wrestlers?
Let's see, Sable. Remember Sable?
I remember you and Sable had a lot of feud. Yeah. What was it like feuding with Sable, who was kind of brand new to all this?
Yeah, you know what? She was fan favorite. Everybody loves Sable. Everybody loves Sable. It was great working against her. She was very, very beautiful, very talented, and she wasn't a great wrestler, but she did what she was taught, and she did really good in the ring.
Did you see she seem overwhelmed at all?
Not at all. Very professional. She was very professional, Sable. Very professional.
So, Thunder Rosa, go right through. Go right through.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I never met you. Oh, good to meet you.
Crossing generations here we are.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's another one. She bows to you. That kind of implies what they mean.
Okay.
So I do want to ask you, one thing that I always remember, the bikini contest between you and Sable.
Okay.
That one's been talked about. If you ever get on the internet, guys still share that
okay.
today.
Okay, everybody talks about it.
And Sable was portrayed by WWF to be the babyface, and people were supposed to cheer her.
Yeah.
But if you ever look at the comments, everyone's like, nope, Jackie won that contest.
You know what? I get that a lot. They said, really? You won that contest. But you know what? It was just fun. I just went out there and had fun. No, I'm not a big bikini girl. I wasn't into the bikini contest.
What was it like for you to be into that world for a while?
I don't know. I'm a wrestler. I was trained to wrestle, not to do bikini contest. I mean, I look great. A lot of people told me I look great. So I was very happy about that. But that's what, Sable, everybody loves Sable. She was a fan favorite. She's a big baby face. So, yeah, it was fun.
So how did it wrap up for you? Do you recall? WWF?
You talking about WWF?
Yeah.
I had a match against Chavo Guerrero. It was a cruiserweight match. And I think that's where they wrapped it up.
You were facing him as the wrestler against Chavo?
Yes, I pinned Chavo.
What was it like to work with Chavo?
It was great. You know what? Chavo is a great guy. I love working against Chavo. He's a great wrestler. He's just a pro. And I beat him 1, 2, 3. I mean, it was a match. It was great. It was great working.
And how did you do physically when it was all over? Because I know wrestling's hard on the body.
No, I tried to stay in shape. But I was blessed. I never got hurt. in professional wrestling. And I was in the business for like 30 years. So I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed.
And what are you up to now in life?
Well, I'm doing a lot of traveling right now, and I'm still around the wrestling scene. I do a lot of conventions now, a lot of signing. But you know what? It's great coming to the conventions because you can see all the wrestlers that you haven't seen in years, right? They like my wrestling family. I call them my wrestling family. And it's great seeing the fans, too. It's great. They awesome. They are awesome, man.
Well, Jackie, so much. Thank you for being on the show.
You.
I see your Hall of Fame ring you still got there.
There it is. Yes,
thank
I work
you,
hard
Jackie.
for that one. Thank you.
Well, now let's talk about Miss Jackie, and I wanted to bring in friend of the show, Desiree Joseph with Chutes and Ladders podcast. Desiree, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Happy to be here.
Jackie is a fascinating one. She was in that era before women's wrestling really took off. Back when your wrestlers were not really wrestlers. They were Sable, they were Sunny, they were Dustin Rhodes' wife at the time, Marlena, Terry Reynolds. And she came in and she was a legit powerhouse.
I loved her. And she even came out and started as a manager and valet for Mark Mera, which started the rivalry with Sable. But she was actually someone who actually wanted to wrestle.
Yeah, and we talked about that in our interview, that she was in that bikini contest phase of WWE.
Yes.
But that's not, she was a legit fighter. She wanted to be out there wrestling. Do you think that she was used as best as she could be in that era?
I think so. And what I think is so funny is I still look at some of her matches. She went after the guys, and she even wrestled the guys too, which was insane to me because China was the only one at the time.
Okay, now that's what I was about to ask you about. I always wondered if they would try her against China. They never had a female, and they had some powerhouse females face off with China. Do you think that they could have tried that, or do you think this was China's shtick, that she is unique talent?
You know, I thought about that, and I never saw them go head to head, and I think I would have really loved to see that, and I don't know why that wasn't ever a thing for both of those two muscular powerhouse women to go at it.
I mean, I will say China was physically bigger than her. China was tall.
Yeah.
So I think that would have, she was, Jackie facing off with Terry Reynolds is one thing.
Yeah.
Jackie facing off with China. But yeah, I thought it would have been interesting. Do you think that Vince wanted to protect China during that?
Especially with his relationship with the Clique, knowing with DX and everything like that. So that could have been more of a protection thing and a reputation thing for China.
And as far as Jackie, she was there toward when things started to change, when Trish and Lita come in and they start bringing in women who can actually, Ivory, they start bringing in women who can actually work. She was kind of there at a fundamental time for women.
I think she was a good transition from like the divas or when women weren't really taken seriously to the point where they were athletes, and that's where Trish and Lita came in. So she was a good, easy transition.
Well, Desiree Joseph, Chutes and Ladders, where do people find the show?
On YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify.
Desiree, thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here next time on Going Ringside.
This has been Going Ringside with The Local Station, brought to you every Wednesday on your favorite podcast player, on News4JAX Plus, as well as the News4JAX YouTube channel.